Let's have a look at some of the different types of grinders. Different grinders will be needed for different purposes. Most likely that the grinder for home use will be a simple grinder. Then, there are larger scale grinders for coffee that is ground and placed in packets for sale. And lastly, there are shop grinders that allow the coffee to be ground at the espresso coffee bar in front of guests. There are 4 different types of grinding methods that can be used to produce ground coffee for brewing. There is burr grinding, chopping, pounding, and roller grinding. It is important to note that the grind needs to be checked and reset several times a day. Never set it in the morning and expect it to be right throughout the day. This is because there are several aspects that change the consistency of the grind. That is the weather, the humidity, the temperature, the type of coffee, the coffee's freshness, the fullness of the coffee hopper, and the sharpness of the blades or burrs. Burr grinding is done by a mechanism called a burr mill, which has 2 revolving, abrasive elements which slice the bean. The burr blade system works with a pair of specially cut blades that sit on top of one another, or one inside of the other, where one is stationary and one is rotating, which helps to uniformly slice the bean. This is most definitely an all-purpose grinder. The burr blade system can be altered by adjusting the distance between the 2 blades and so controlling the size of the ground coffee, making it either finer or coarser as desired. Chopping is the process of grinding coffee beans by using blades that rotate at a high speed like a blender. This kind of blade grinder can sometimes produce variable sized particles and can potentially burn the beans, which is not ideal. This grinder is more effective in a drip coffee maker and should only be used in small-scale coffee establishments. This grinder is not ideal for coffee grinding at all. It crushes and tears the beans rather than shaving them into uniform pieces. Then there is pounding. This is when extremely fine, almost powdered grounds are required, in the likes of Arabic and Turkish coffees. This technique involves pounding the beans with a mortar and pestle, pulverizing them into a fine ground. This is a very traditional method of preparing the coffee beans for brewing that would not be recommended where other methods are available. Lastly, there is roller grinding, which is when the beans are rolled between 2 corrugated or grooved rollers. This type of grinder produces a more even grind size and is hence a popular way to grind coffee, especially in commercial and industrial coffee producers. The more coarse the grind, the easier it is for the water to flow through the coffee at a fast pace, and hence a lowered extraction from the coffee. Equally, with a fine grind, the water is slow moving through the coffee, and therefore the extraction of flavor is much higher. Over-extracted coffee will be bitter with a burnt aftertaste, and under-extracted coffee will have a sour and sharp taste. Remember this helpful equation when it comes to setting your grinder to the desired outcome for your perfect espresso. Fast flow equals too coarse equals under-extracted equals sour. Slow flow equals too fine equals over-extracted equals bitter.